See if it actually goes out there.
Zoom, setting up my meeting for Facebook Live.
It now says it's streaming online.
All right, everybody. We're going to start coming out and having a discussion on some meaningful things every Thursday. And you know what? Somebody asked me a question. A friend of mine, Usman Cabre. He's from Burkina Faso in West Africa. He's one of the most joyful, deep-thinking people that I've ever met in my life. I met him on my trip to Rwanda. You can see behind me, there's a shield on the wall that the Rwandans sent me, which signifies honor and valor, which was really special to me. But he asked me an amazing question. He said, "Hey, John, what is one thing that you learned already in 2020? I thought that was such a great question. And I'm here and I'm joined by two of my closest friends that over the last year, we have just shared life together. We've gone through heroic public speaking and really learned how to take a message that we had and bring it out into the world in a transformational way. And I'd love for you to meet Dana and Max, who've had such a great impact, positive impact on me. And Dana, you are in Seattle, and you're in real estate. You also have a company where you do life mapping. You've written books. You've gone through so much in your life. You just inspire me. I'll tell you that right now, just who you are, your character. And you shared something with me. So let's start and kind of go around the table. Now introduce you, Max. But Dana, what is one thing that you have learned or really noticed so far just in 2020?
So far, what has really been up for me is this reminder that we can only control the things that are truly in our control. And so for me, what that means is I can very easily go off on a track where I'm just spinning in my own thoughts. And it's generally about things that are out of my control. And so a lot of times the stories I'm making up or the assumptions that I'm making are completely inaccurate. And I realize how much of my time and energy, just thought process that consumes. And so I have been reminded that it's just not a good use of my time or my energy, and to just kind of keep the focus where it belongs. And that's with what I can control.
So question for you, Dana, when you realize that you're going down that track, how do you switch tracks and get over to a better track that's going to get you gooder results?
Yeah, you know what? It's just an awareness that I'm doing it is enough for me to just internally remind myself that is not productive. And if I really want to put something to rest and I can get more information about the stories that I'm making up, then I'm better off to actually ask someone a question instead of continue to think about it on my own. And otherwise, I realize, you know what, it's just not that important. And regardless of what I think or I feel, it's not something that I'm going to have any control on the outcome. So just the awareness of that allows me to turn it off.
Well, you know, that's great that you bring that up. And I want to share with people, I thought I was actually pretty good at that, Dana. And as a team, we have 4 people on our team now, and we read books and then we discuss the books as a team. And we chose a book right before Christmas, and it's called Change Your Questions, Change Your Life. And it's by Marilee Adams. And it's about this whole track of being a judger, which really leads to being critical and negative self-talk. And the other one is being a learner, which really completely shifts the perspective in a positive way. And I got to tell you, going through this and actually realizing how often I actually go down this judger track, what you were kind of talking about, has really kind of created some awareness around it, and trying to constantly now shift over to this learner side, the more positive side, has honestly transformed, I think, my outlook. I'm already happier. So what a great point. Thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. All right. Now, Max, my friend, who is I believe, astrophysicist. Is that correct?
Theoretical chemist.
Theoretical chemist who could have been an astrophysicist. He designed most of the space shuttle before leaving that career to get into what he does now. And he's helped transforming a community up in Halifax, Nova Scotia, through what he's doing through a community center and sports complex. And Max, your message about how to go out and work with disparate groups, nonprofits, NGOs, local city officials, business, to actually pull together and actually create a partnership that's actually focused on the outcomes for the individual, right? Which then has such an impact on society and community in a way that's, so instead of turf wars, right, actually really creating change that makes it better for everybody. And that's what Max is doing. That's what your life is about now, and your whole journey with you and your wife and everything. I just so admire who you are. And so it's great to have you on this little live stream. But Max, what is the one thing that you have either learned or noticed just so far in the first couple of weeks of 2020?
Well, one of the things that came across my desk was Brene Brown's comment about simply assume that others are doing the best they can. And so instead of maybe when you're disappointed or you're frustrated thinking that somebody's hopeless or they don't care or they're not interested, just take where they're at, what they bring to the table as that's the best they can do right now. And it takes away the frustration and the disappointment and the anger, and just accept them and understand that there are things you don't know that are going on in the background of their work, their life, their family, that impact that, and simply move forward from there and treat that with respect, and not go down, as you described, that judging role. Perhaps it's like, okay, this is the best they can do today or here right now. Let's work with that and make decisions based on that.
Yeah. And, sometimes too, think about those days where we did not show up as our best self, right? We were grumpy. We snapped at somebody. We were whatever. And I remember reading in, I think it was How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success Through Selling. It was by Frank Betcher. I remember he walked up to a woman who had just been chewed out. She was in a hotel. She was behind the desk. And this guy just chewed her out up and down because his room wasn't ready. And then when Frank walked up, she looked at him with this big smile and said, "Welcome." And he looked at her. He's like, "How could you possibly be so friendly after that guy just treated you like that?" And she just simply said, "Well, I bet he's just having a bad day." Isn't that just a great reminder that, we don't know what's going on in somebody else's world, their life, their health, whatever it happens to be. And just, I love that, Max. And you do that with everybody around you, is just, assume the good in what you see in people, don't you?
Yeah. And sometimes if we're working with others in the community, we think, oh, they have so many more resources and so many more things they could do, but there is probably something in the background that prevents that. And rather than focus on that, take what they can offer you and what they can do, take advantage of it, leverage it, build something bigger. And then tomorrow may be another day when there's other opportunities and they come perhaps a better self that day because whatever else is going on is changed as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, man. Well, here's something I've learned, because last year, and you guys heard me talk about this, right? I wanted to lose weight. And I think over my life, I've probably lost about 2,000 pounds, in cycles up and down. And I've even coached my clients and they've lost weight, but I actually didn't kind of eat my own cooking, so to speak. And here's what I decided to do. I sat down, and if you guys are setting a goal, here's what I realized. You have to connect it to something that's really important to you emotionally, spiritually, just viscerally. And I asked myself, okay, I want to lose weight. Why? Because I want to look better when I'm presenting and I'm on stage. Okay. And if I did that, what would that give me? Well, that would give me more confidence, right? Am I going to go change all my eating habits because I want to look better and have more confidence? Well, no, I proved that last year. So let's go the next step, right? What would that give me? And I got to tell you, I literally wrote down in my journal, I had to answer that question probably about 9 times until I landed on the kind of lifestyle that I want to live, that I want to be active with my grandson and my boys. And if they want to go play outside and play basketball, I don't make an excuse to go watch TV because I know that I wouldn't be up for it. My son went and climbed a 14,000 foot peak and wanted me to go with him last fall. And I found a reason not to go. And so what I found was connecting a goal to something emotional and then sharing it. I shared it with my wife. And then we decided and this is dangerous when we're talking about weight loss, that we're going to be each other's accountability partner. But we started tracking our goals, sharing our frustrations, and cooking together. And I got to tell you, already so far this year, so 3 weeks in, I'm now down 11 pounds. And I couldn't be more excited. My chronic pain has decreased significantly. I'm sleeping better. So there we go. Great. So 3 things that we learned. Dana, what's your quick summary?
Quick summary is don't waste your time thinking about things you can't control.
Awesome. Max?
Assume that others are doing the best they can.
And myself, set a goal. And when you set a goal, make sure it connects and then share it with somebody. That way you create progress, I think, toward the goal. So I would love to hear from you guys down below. Anything that you're working on, anything that you've learned, anything that you've noticed. And with that, man, just go knock them alive out there. You guys are awesome.